Oh, yeah, everybody. What is up, travelers? This is Judge Mentalist coming at you for another episode of Big Sexy Digital Nomad. I am here after basically a day and a half of being completely out of commission with either food poisoning or some sort of stomach bug. We'll call that my exodus. And today we are also going to talk about Big Sexy, who is in the process of vacating his apartment for his exodus.
That's right. Blaxit 2023 is in full effect. We're in phase 2 of the move right now. I don't know how many phases it's going to be, but phase 1 was loading the U-Haul truck and getting everything to California. That has been completed. Phase 2 is returning to Vegas and getting the apartment taken care of, also residing in the NYNY Hotel and Casino, while still working full-time for the complaints department in my home office at the apartment. So it's very weird to commute to work coming home. Yeah, I'm commuting to home to work, which is messing my brain up. But yeah, so I'll be doing this until we record on a Tuesday. So I'll be working today and tomorrow, and then I have Thursday and Friday off to move everything. Friday is our last official day in Las Vegas as residents. We will make another trip through Vegas starting March 30th through the beginning of April. But that will be the official farewell tour.
So what's your driver's license going to say? Are you going to keep it Las Vegas?
Yeah, for now. I mean, until, if I decide to drive over in the UK, in Portugal, then I have to get a Portuguese driver's license, I'm assuming. But for now, yeah, my driver's license is my driver's license because that's what, once I leave here, it'll be my passport. It will be my main form of identification.
Yeah, I guess your home is. I'm just wondering from the government wants to look at you and say, hey, where are you?
Right. Yeah, I'm gonna have to do it. I'm pretty sure when I'm in California, I'll do a change of address. I'll find. I think a friend of mine said I can use their address here in Nevada to maintain a Nevada driver license. Because my business is based. Who is Big Sexy Entertainment is based out of Nevada, and so that I don't have to change my business license and do all that madness, I will keep a Nevada address.
Good, because that's there's tax implications of domiciling technically legally in other states that aren't Nevada.
Right, but I won't be in California long enough for that to matter.
Right.
I'll only be in California for 10 weeks or 9 weeks. Okay, let me do the math because we're leaving earlier than anticipated, and we're getting there later than anticipated. So let's see. All right, pull out my handy dandy calendar here.
Woo.
The 3rd is 1 week. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So yeah, 9. We'll be in California 9 weeks, leaving on Thursday, March 30th, and that'll begin the Blaxit farewell tour. We have to map it around my wife's work schedule, so we'll make sure we're planted when she has to work, and then traveling on the end of work days or non-work days. But I gotta remember the travel just takes a day, So yeah. If she ends work on a Wednesday, we can be in the next day on a Wednesday. Maybe. Ooh. Oh, tired. How have you been, sir?
Well, we
yeah, you said you had a little stomach bug. What's going on?
I think it's food poisoning because everybody in the house got it at the same time.
Oh,
literally at the same time, give or take a half hour. So
Did you guys go out to eat somewhere, or was it something?
I think it was probably something we made, but we're not 100% sure. But we've got it pretty much narrowed down to most likely being food poisoning. Um, I am not 100%, but I am certainly better. I'm pretty sure I can make it through this whole recording without running out of the room.
Oh, good deal.
And if I run out of the room, well, then I'm
I
not
can,
going to
I can
spare you
vamp.
the TMI.
I can vamp. I don't have a problem vamping. I'm able to do that.
That's right. That's right. So, yeah, it was hit and miss for me, touch and go, if you will, whatever the right
The right terminology is the right phrase.
phrase was going to be as to whether or not I was going to make this or we were going to drop a bank episode, which is why we have our bank episodes. But no, here I am. We made
Good.
it.
Yeah, I'm good because a lot's happened since we last recorded live.
Yeah.
For one, all my shit's in California, with exception of a few necessary items to keep working and get stuff together. Other things that we're selling here, or still donating, or along those lines. We'll have probably 2 more carloads of stuff that would take back with us to California, but like everything big that is still here is not coming with us. It will somehow stay here, whether it gets sold or I take it over to Savers and leave it. It will still be here. And then we determined that once we're in California, we're going to have 4 garage sales. My goal is to have 4 garage sales
In California.
in California. Yeah, the first and third week of February and the first and third week of March. Weekend of March and weekend of February. Just so we can, again, try to sell all of our things and stockpile fundage for our journey, which is officially underway. A lot of talk, a lot of speculation, a lot of build up towards it, and it's happening.
We are here.
Here we are. Yeah, so things have been excited.
So how long you been in New York, New York?
We checked in on Sunday.
Sunday. Okay.
We checked in Sunday night. And again, I've only slept there.
Right.
Checked in Sunday night, slept there, woke up Monday. Right now, we're not driving both cars because we need to get the Lexus checked out. And so we're waiting to do that. So it's been tough because also my mother's an early riser, and we're all sharing the same room, and my wife's an early riser, and so that means I'm a reluctant early riser because they get involved in full volume conversations while I'm sleeping, and then so I'm no longer sleeping, and then I'm trying to sleep and hoping that they stop talking, but they don't stop talking, and so then I'm awake. Then I just get up.
And it's a hotel room, right? So
and it's a hotel room, so there is no separation. There is no, I can't close the door and shut them out. Yeah, so it's I can make it 4 days. Yeah. I'll be looking forward to when I can actually sleep in, which will be this coming weekend. Yeah. Speaking of which, I don't know if I have anything planned this coming weekend, like officially. Yes, I do. I have shit at the house that we have to take care of, doing all that kind of work. Getting my mom's house in order because there's a lot of stuff there now. So I'll be spending the entire weekend sorting, organizing, setting up donation bins, going through the tons and tons of clothes and old things that need to be donated or sold or given away. I found a closet full of my old clothes that I haven't seen or worn in the 14 years that I was here in Vegas. And the cool thing, the awesome thing is none of them fit me anymore because they're all too big.
Well, that's a positive.
Yeah. So
it kind of almost reminds me of some of those bags that end up making it into our storage container that were labeled "My Clothes." And I'm like, well, it's been 3 months. I don't know what these are. I could probably just chuck them.
Yeah.
And I think most of that stuff did end up disappearing.
Yeah, it was fun to go through. Like, oh, I remember this shirt. Oh, I remember this, whatever, and then wrap it up, put it in the bag. Oh, I remember this jacket. Oh, this. Okay, I'm keeping this jacket. This is a very nice jacket. I like this jacket. This jacket still fits, so I'm going to keep this jacket. But everything else, I found my Barry Sanders jersey. I'm like, oh, I can probably sell that. I have an old Rockies jacket that, if it's in good condition, I'll either try to sell or I'll dump it if it's in bad condition. So I got some things to do whilst in California. So yeah, the next time we record, I will be a California resident. Yeah, going back to Cali.
That's right. That's right. I will still be in Maryland, physically and legally.
Yeah,
Let's see. Now I'm gonna get out my handy dandy calendar. No, we'll still be in January the next time we record. Yeah, I am not leaving. I don't think I leave. And when I say leave the state, I live basically on, like a few miles from the Maryland-Delaware border, so that doesn't count to me. Going into Delaware, equally close to Pennsylvania, because we're kind of up in the upper right-hand corner, or the northeast corner for those who are interested in the cardinal directions there. But I am in the local area until the end of February. And that's when we hop on that second cruise. We'll see how that goes.
Oh, that's going to be fabulous.
Yeah.
And where's that one going to?
It's out of Baltimore, so we don't have to do the whole fly somewhere, early flight, any of that jazz.
Nice.
And then there are 3 different ports in the Bahamas, and it's another Carnival Cruise Line cruise. 7 days this time.
Oh, nice. Oh, that would be a lot of fun. That's going to be a blast. Wife is now looking at cruises from England back to the U.S. after we do the 3 months in the EU. Once you do 3 months, you have to get out of the EU. So she's looking at, we can probably go up to the UK since they're no longer in the EU. Stay with friends, hopefully up there, and then hop on a cruise ship and do just a straight 8-day transatlantic from Southampton to, I think, ports in New York.
Okay.
And come back to New York, and then from New York, fly down to Costa Rica. Which, look, if that works out, I'll be extremely happy with that. Give me a couple days in New York. I freaking love New York, and this would be New York in the fall ish, end of summer in the fall. So we would be. The weather should be okay. But if that happens, if we're there, I'll let you know, keep you posted, because you're close enough, I think.
Oh, yeah.
You're a train ride away, and we'll meet up in the city or somewhere.
I mean, hell, it's like a 2.5-3 hour drive if I want to drive all the way there. Last time I went to New York, which was just for a day, not even an overnight, we drove up to, I don't remember exactly where, but someplace in New Jersey, hopped on the train and took it into Manhattan, like literally right into 34th Street, Midtown. Nice. Which is so much, you go to where the train station is, you're parking in a parking garage, super easy.
Right.
And you don't have to worry about any of that in the city itself, which is,
right,
always to some extent a nightmare, figuring out parking, finding where you parked, all that shit.
All that wonderful disruptiveness.
Yeah, exactly.
I get it.
Oh, man.
Yeah. So yeah, things are moving quite along at a nice little clip here. Happy with the way things are going. Mad that I still have to work at the complaints department while I'm doing all this, because I didn't have enough PTO to take the entire week off, which I really wish I could have done. I got to see some friends recently. We had our since I think the last time we talked, we had our Christmas party, our annual Christmas party
That's right.
on the 15th, which went off great and wonderful. Got rid of a whole bunch of stuff. Hooray for White Elephant gifts and prizes. Um, then what else?
So
Got to
let me talk to you about white elephants. I don't know that we've talked about this before,
no,
but
we have not had a discussion about white elephants.
I, I let me tell you, and I'm gonna let everybody creep into the insanity that is going on inside, in between these two ears here. I love a good white elephant, not because of the gifts, not because of any element of it, other than and there, I know there are different names for it, so you can call it whatever you want, but it's basically one of those things where generally around the later in the year holidays, people show up, they wrap a gift, they all go on a table, and then either numbers are drawn or some sort of somebody picks a gift. Generally, they open it up and then the next person goes. The next person has a choice between stealing one of the prior gifts or taking a new one.
Yes.
I like to bring two gifts, one of them for real and one of them secretly. And obviously, they're wrapped different. They're wrapped in ways that you can't tell that they both came from the same person. Um, I like to get some sort of big, ridiculous sex toy and wrap it as the second gift, because these gifts don't have your name on them.
Right.
You don't know that, oh, look, this teapot came from Big Sexy or whatever. So having that random whatever, whether it be, I mean, in the past I've used ball gags, I've gotten very large phallic objects, also whatever shenanigans, something,
Dildos, vibrators.
whatever it is, but just sneak that in. And, you know, obviously you have your normal gift too. There's an extra one. And I will tell you, the one time, I'm pretty sure it was a ball gag that I did for one like a year and a half ago. And that fucking thing got stolen the maximum amount of times.
Yeah.
Usually these have, you know, a rule that once something is stolen 2 times or 3 times or whatever it is, then it's locked into
Then
place.
it's locked. Yep.
But it's funny because one of the gigs that I did for a holiday party, for a law firm, they did a white out. They called it something different, but it was basically the same concept. And I'm just sitting here kicking myself. I'm like, I wish I would have known. Not that I was involved in it, but I
Right.
wish I would have somehow had some sort of way to know that they're going to do this, because I totally would have slipped in something ridiculous.
So yeah, we had an adult box this time around. I had a bunch of adult items that I didn't feel like carrying, dragging with us all the way to Portugal that we never really use, and so I'm a brand new. And then the karaoke uh, um, dojo that I'm a part of, the karate karaoke company that I am a loyal member of, and I also have my third degree black belt ceremony. I'll circle back to that. They often have parties, and some of the things you can win at those are sex toys. And so, over the years, having attended quite a few of those and won a few sex toys, I have garnered uh, quite a nice collection. And so, I put them all in a box, wrapped it all up, called it a white elephant. It was hilarious because one of my friends ended up with that box, and there were kids at the party, and on it says, "This is an adult box. Be discreet." And she wasn't.
You know, I
There,
wonder what would show up if at the next Scoop Fest they pre-announced a white elephant type of thing. Like,
uh,
what kind of shenanigans would the Scoops bring? Because you
oh
know
madness! It would be insane.
it would be like 80% sex toys or other
It'd be
ridiculous
it'd be
shenanigans.
sex toys and artwork. Yeah,
Yeah.
there's a huge Scoop creative community um, that they would definitely make something Scoop related, and almost everything would be Scoop related in some form or another. Some people probably give real gifts, like $100 gift card to Baskin Robbins or something along those lines. A gift card to Dairy Queen. But I'm sure there would be some other insane shenanigans involving penises and vaginas and boobies, and comic books and sports memorabilia.
Yeah. It's funny. I've seen a couple of times, and I've wanted to buy this and ship it to the churn. A couple of different autographed William the Refrigerator Perry pieces of paraphernalia, all
Yes.
sorts of different stuff, and I never found exactly the right one. None of them would actually prove that he's alive because he could
No,
die tomorrow.
I would completely and totally fake him writing "I am alive" right above his signature. I get an autograph copy, and then I would write in "I'm alive," still alive, still kicking.
I had a boss years ago that had this autographed picture of Wayne Newton, and I looked at it, and and it was glossy, and it was autographed in Sharpie, and it was like to Mark, love Wayne, or something like that, right?
Right.
And I looked at it, and then I tilted it at an angle. I'm like, Mark, these are two different pens. He's like, what do you
Yeah.
mean? I'm like, brother, two different pens.
Yeah.
You bought
You
this from somewhere, that you wrote your name on it, which
yeah.
is fine, but
You wrote the to Mark from.
right.
Right.
And I believe that it was an actual autographed picture of Wayne Newton, but
'Cause that's the second pen. The other pen is Wayne Newton. But
yeah,
you added that personalization. Yeah, which is tough to do, to figure out what to do with. Like, that's the thing I've been struggling with going through all my shit. Right, I have some, personalized autographed items. I'm okay. I'll keep this, but I'm not gonna take this with me out yet. This is gonna go in a box that's gonna be labeled "ship once settled." Right. Once we're settled and we have a residency and we know we're going to be, and we're going to be there for years, then I'm going to send for all our other shit. Or we're going to fly back in, grab all the things, and then fly out. Right. Just come in, fly in, and we'll fly in with nothing. Right. Don't pack any luggage, just pack, maybe a couple of outfits in a carry on, and then plan to fly back out, but with check bags and boxes and whatever, and do all that stuff like that. So we got plans and ideas. The hardest part is coming up in a couple days, because we're taking our cats to my friend's house, who's gonna watch Sebastian and Shuri for me, while we're doing the whole digital nomading experience and traveling, because cats are really hard to travel with. Um, and so a friend of mine is going to foster them for us. So it's going to be tough to be without my kitties for that such a long period of time. So I've been trying to spend as much time with them now. That's why we didn't take them when we took the furniture and everything. So a kind of bit of it was selfish. I didn't want to trying to navigate all that plus moving items, but also I didn't want to be here without them. So once we take everything out of here, then they come with us, and then we'll take them over to my friend's house, and I'll visit frequently while I'm in California and go see my kitties and hang out with them. But yeah, not that's gonna be the tough part. But yeah, so after our Christmas party, I had my third degree black belt karate karaoke ceremony, in the dojo, which is what we call our loyalty group of karaoke singers. I am the highest ranking belt.
oh wow,
I'm working towards my sixth degree black belt, and actually, I probably need to go out to karaoke some night this week. I have to do it before Thursday or before Friday, to get my. I have two more songs on my current belt to upgrade to the next belt, and so I need to go and do that. So I need to go find a night and do that. Um,
you ever run into Smoothini while you're out and about in Vegas doing karaoke?
Wonder who?
Smoothini.
I don't know who Smoothini is. So
You
no,
don't know who Smoothini is? He was on AGT,
no,
magician.
no.
Lives in Vegas, and I know that he frequents a lot of the karaoke bars
I
because what he'll do,
I doubt that he frequents the karaoke bars that Karate Karaoke is at.
I've no clue. I've been to like one or two with him. Like one of them was on the Strip up by oh goodness, where was this one? He's going to where there's people, because what he will do is he will go to a karaoke night. He will do karaoke, and then he will walk around and do
He'll probably go to
So
Ellis
sleight of
Island.
hand.
Ellis Island is the most popular karaoke venue in Vegas. It's crowded. They have dollar beers,
Mm.
and it's a smallish room that gets full. And they've been around forever, so it's one of the most popular. We are a local karaoke thing, so our things are at away from the strip, Parkway
Out in
Town.
the real world, yeah.
Right, right. We've
Yeah, he
had a
took me
couple
to
that were near
one.
the strip. Actually, we've been on the strip maybe about 3 or 4 times. I've hosted at the Luxor, at the Republic that's in there, and we hosted at this Mexican Chayo, some shit like that. That was in the Link, a Mexican restaurant in there, and then there's another restaurant in the Link
Oh,
that
you're
we're
talking
at
about the one
now.
that's it's in like that quad area where you can get
Yeah.
the drinks that have the scorpions in?
Yes.
Yes, I know what you're talking
Yeah,
about.
we hosted karaoke there. And then I've hosted karaoke near the strip at a bar called the Mint, which is like this classic Vegas themed bar right off us on Sahara, right by the Golden Steer Steakhouse, and that was a really fun gig. That was a great venue. That one, the bar didn't die, but the gig died due to COVID. That was right at the start of COVID. That was the gig I was hosting right before COVID, and I was working the night that the NBA shut down, and I was like, oh,
Okay.
okay, this is real. Oh no, when professional sports stop doing shit.
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah.
Oh no, this is real. Oh yeah, I'm not coming. We're not coming back. This is the last night for karaoke for a while.
I
And
remember as that's all coming down, it's funny because I'm trying to think of whether I think it was the weekend before St. Patrick's Day when, and when you're in these towns and whatnot that quote celebrate St. Patrick's Day, and this may not be an issue in Vegas because it's big enough with enough going on
right,
that if St. Patrick's Day is like on a Wednesday, they'll just celebrate that shit the weekend before and the weekend after. But in smaller towns, they will generally say, "Hey, we're doing it the weekend before, we're doing it the weekend after, or whatever."
right,
Um, this was the weekend before, and and I want to say, if I remember correctly, it would have been Saturday the 14th because I'm pretty sure that was a Friday the 13th year,
nice,
and it was also a leap year. But I remember looking up prices for flights because we weren't sure what this was going to be, and flight prices were dropping like crazy. And we were like, look, if some shit happens, we better get out there and hang out before we can't for a while. And I'm glad we didn't because we certainly would have booked something. Because I think it was like the 18th or something that Vegas basically just said, hit the brakes, everybody go the fuck home.
right.
Wherever home is, you don't
Get
have to,
out.
you can't stay here,
Yeah,
you know?
you don't gotta
Uh,
go home, but you cannot stay here. Get out.
so we would have most likely gotten stranded there, which I don't know how much I would have been upset about that,
You
but
would have
I would have because everything
because
that
they closed
closed
all the
down.
casinos.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like you could not stay in a casino, right? The doors were barred and blocked. So
Yeah.
it was very interesting time here in Vegas. Very surreal uh, when the world shut down. Like driving down the strip, and there was nobody. Like it was a ghost town.
Like one of those zombie apocalypse
It
movies.
really, really was. I'm all. This is when we need to film. I really wish I was a filmmaker because this is. This is natural. There's an actual apocalypse happening right now. So I mean, this would be some great footage. At least get stock footage of empty Vegas streets. Right.
Yeah, I ended up back there. Let's see. I'm trying to think. Next trip I took out there was like mid June, and then like a week later went back out for July 4th weekend with some friends. It was crazy because we will always I will often, depending on where I'm staying, as long as there is a fridge, and even sometimes when there's not, one of the first places that I will go on my way to the hotel is to one of the liquor stores and I'll usually pick up, an 18 pack or 30 pack of beer,
Right.
some other things or what have you, just to kind of have them there in the room, because the ability to get drinks on the casino floor is hit and miss. Sometimes they are there to the point where they feed you drinks fast enough that you'll fall out of your chair, and sometimes it's like, hey, are you guys
I'm thirsty. Where are you? I'm
exactly
thirsty.
And it's
I'm just thirsty. I don't even care to get
really
drunk.
varies.
I just want
and
drink.
it's funny because we bought enough stuff and didn't drink. I always overbuy and never drink nearly enough of what I have. But that time I was like, bro, I'm back here in like a week. So I call down to the bell desk, and I'm like, can I stash a bag in Bell Services for like a week and get it when I come back here? And they're like, yeah, sure, why not? I wasn't staying at the same property, but it was close enough.
Yeah, the bell. I love bell desks. Bell
Yeah.
desks are great. Yeah, we'll hold your bags for you. Sure, not a problem. You slide them a little tip. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Call
So it was
good.
like a bag filled with fucking beer. So
Nice.
beer and White Claws or whatever the hell we had. I don't even remember. That was fucking 2 years ago now. But yeah, good times. Good times.
And so things are going well. I'm trying to remember what else I've done since we last recorded, because that's the thing about moving, it becomes a haze. So much shit
for
happens.
sure.
Oh, well, I don't know if you heard the latest episode of ICS. I did visit the boys for a third time on my farewell tour. This is Big Sexy's third goodbye visit.
I haven't heard it yet because I was completely out of commission yesterday, which is when it dropped.
Shout out to Brogan Hastings and Slacking Fool. I don't know. Slaking, I think it's Slaking Fool. For the artwork. The episode title is Guardians of the Gutter. Paul was talking about his gutter guards or whatever. And so Brogan Hastings and her talent drew the four of us as Guardians of the Galaxy.
And it looks fantastic.
It looks wonderful, yeah.
Although
Jacob is Gamora, which is probably my favorite part of the whole thing. She drew me as Drax, Matt is Star-Lord, and then Paul is Groot with one of his corgis as Rocket, which is also one of my favorite things. Because I went, who's going to do for Rocket? I'm like, oh, it's a corgi. That's hilarious. That's
speaking of
wonderful.
Which, I have stumbled upon this Twitter account called Raccoons Hourly.
Okay.
And it is literally just every hour. It's automated. It's like a bot or whatever.
Right.
Like that somebody has preloaded and then just pumps out these tweets with weird pictures of raccoons every hour.
And that's random as shit. I love it.
It is. But you mentioning Rocket the raccoon reminded me of that. And I mean, it's all sorts of stuff. Like here's one with a raccoon grabbing food off of a food table with a little banner that says "Happy Birthday."
Just so listeners, Joe Beth is showing me photos on his phone into the camera.
Here's one of a raccoon playing Uno. So I think the account is just called Raccoons Hourly. If you just search it in there, you'll definitely find it. It's weird and it's fun and it's great because every so often when I see cool ones, I'll send them in a group text to a bunch of people and they're like, where the fuck do you keep coming up with this stuff? I'm like,
nice.
Whatever.
The internet, the interwebs, it's all there.
It's out there.
Yeah. Do we have any external? Oh, I know. We need production meeting music. Do production meeting. This is a production meeting that Joe Beth wasn't aware of.
Something.
There we go. Production meeting. All right, so I have a new name instead of external monologues.
Okay.
And this is a shout out to Michael McKenna, who was a guest at both our Christmas party and my third degree black belt ceremony. Big shout out to Michael. Thank you very much for this idea. Audio postcards.
Audio postcards. I
I'm
like
on.
it.
I love it. I'm on. I need something travel related. I want something travel like a postcard. Yes. So please, listeners, send us in. Do we have any audio postcards at the moment?
We do not have any audio
All right.
postcards
So
this time.
listeners, start chime in with audio. We need uh things to read
Or
and
have read to us.
or
Like
have
your
read to us. So you can do an audio postcard, or if you want to do a digital postcard, aka an email, be sure to send that to us. Well, chime in. We need listener mail so that we can extend these segments and communicate and converse with our listeners, and of which I hope we have a few. I know we have a few. I want many. I want this to grow and to keep going. Folks are really excited, anxious for us to actually start the traveling. I've been talking to folks individually, and they're like, "Man, I can't wait till you start. Well, start listening now. Like, get in on the ground floor. Like, listen. So
exactly.
when it's happening, I know you're caught up to speed and what have you. Um, and then tell a friend, share the information, and get it out there. But yes, again, shout out to Michael McKenna for that wonderful idea. I'm almost out of swag, which is a good thing because you are no longer the almost psychic, or it can be a superlative, but it's no longer your handle. Um,
Right.
FYI, there isn't a single person who I've told about your name change that has thought it wasn't great.
Cool.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's
yeah,
I'm enjoying it. It seems to work. I mean, it gives me it's an easier intro because now I just, when we do these things, it's odd I mean, you've dealt with this obviously in the performance world. Whoever's the MC of the event or whoever's on before you or whatever introduces the next person depending on how the event is set up. And a lot of times even you could just hand them something that says say exactly this, and then they still don't necessarily do it. So now my intro, which is much easier, and they're not fumbling over the he's been on this, that, and the other, and blah 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 blah, because I don't have any of those accolades yet, but
right,
B,
right.
it is a very simple all rise, the court of the mind is now in session, the honorable judge mentalist now presiding, and then I'm on.
Boom.
That's it.
I still say you got to come out in the judge robe.
I will, we've talked about this. If I can find a reason to actually incorporate that into the routine, I will do it and I will start doing it. I mean, it's still very much a work in progress.
You,
I've got pieces.
Froyo, if you're listening to this, you need to write judgmentalist opening music, like official courtroom opening music for the judge, almost like if he was a wrestler. And then I want you to come out in judge robes. And then I know you have your blazer and your regular, what I'm calling your mentalist uniform,
Right.
right? Um, which you will wear underneath the judge robes. But when you come out and preside, okay, you say, okay, please be seated. Court is now in session. Zip. What we need is a tearaway judge robe,
Right.
right? We need you, and you need to have a adorable bailiff come out, take it off you. You need to get you an assistant, um, and then remove the robe, and then you do your. That'd be again. I think show, right? I think big
Right.
spectacle. Right. Yeah. And I just imagine that. So Froyo, get on that. Please.
If you need inspiration for it, a variation on the theme from Night Court would be ideal.
I was thinking night court, something like People's Court. Dun 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 dun.
I'll tell you, I was watching the new Night Court.
How
They've
is
done
that?
the
I want to check.
oh, it
I want to
is
check that out.
it carries the torch. Let's
Oh,
put it that way.
good, good, good,
Um,
good.
I don't think until I watched the newest episodes, which there are two, and I believe that there's a third one coming out live tonight, streaming tomorrow or today, the day
Right.
of the when this will drop. Um, until watching that and having my wife and mother-in-law in the room watching it as well, realized how impactful that show was on my personality, my humor, my career choice,
Okay.
all of the above. Like that show is me in some, in a variety of different ways.
I get it.
And the new, so basically the premise of it is that the judge is the daughter of Harry Anderson, who played
Right.
the character was Harry Stone.
Correct.
So we're 30 years into the future from when the old night courts were. The courtroom is identical. The judge's chambers, the hallways, every single set wise element is
Yeah.
identical, which is great. It's not some, revamped, cleaned up, whatever, like modern, turn of the
They didn't
century.
modernize it. They kept it the same
Right. They
as.
kept it.
That's
I
good.
mean, but then again, we're dealing with night court, so it's not.
Right.
There's nothing that's supposed to be sexy about where they are and what they're doing. So she ends up getting appointed to that judgeship, and one of the main characters from the first season is renewed. Dan Fielding, who's played by
John Larroquette.
Ket, yep, who is absolutely hilarious. Seems to be less of a womanizer than he was the first time through, because he very much was.
Yeah.
But what we missed in the 30 years is that I guess he ended up meeting somebody, getting married, and then that person ended up passing away. We don't have any details on any of that yet. I would not consider that to be any sort of a spoiler. It's just pretty much laid out there in a
Right.
comment
He,
about,
he's mentioned as much in interviews.
yeah. So, yeah, good show. I'm glad that the torch is carried and that they're the theme and the types of humor that are in there, the shenanigans in some of the cases that they handle, the way that it's all handled is very true to form from the original series,
Nice.
which I actually ended up rewatching most of that about a year ago or something. It popped up on some app that was affiliated with Amazon, but it was like a different app, but you could watch it. I could watch it through my Amazon Prime app.
Right.
Cool. It's one of my favorites. He was one of my favorites.
Yeah. Same here. Same here. I used to. Night Court was one of those shows that I watched religiously. I love the humor. It used to crack me up. It would get emotional at times, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. Um, which is funny because when I first moved to Vegas, one of my first professional gigs was Oscar Goodman, who was at the time the former mayor of Las Vegas, started to try to have a TV show called Vegas Night Court. And I got hired as an improviser to play Elvis fan who was suing an Elvis impersonator for ruining my vow renewals because he did them with he had a sore throat. And so he sang terribly and he butchered Elvis songs. And we were suing him. It was so much fun. I met, it's where I not officially met Matt Donnelly, but he was there as well. So he was a recognizable face, but I didn't know Matt Donnelly at the time. But that was a lot of fun, and so it's funny. I remember when I got hired for it. Yeah, Oscar Goodman Night Court. I mean, I really hoped but it was more reality TV show than scripted comedy. Right? He was trying to do a People's Court esque type show, where real, Vegas night courty people, like who would you think would come to night court in Vegas? And the problem is the true night court is boring as shit.
Yeah.
Right. So that does not make exciting television. You're not going to get your showgirls and all your Elvis impersonators and your, random drunks and casino owners and the characters that you commonly think of in Vegas don't really show up in Night Court. It's just your average,
Yeah.
Joe Schmo who, it's another drunk. Oh, it's another drunk tourist. Oh, look, it's another drunk tourist. Oh, hey, maybe you're different. Nope, you're a drunk tourist. Oh, you're different. You're a drunk local. Right. Right. Oh, why are you here? Because you fought a drunk tourist. Okay. Yeah. So obviously it did not get picked up. But again, it was my first professional gig here in Vegas way back in the day, and made some great friendships from that. So that, if I remember, listeners, I will post a video. I think I still have that video somewhere on my YouTube channel. I will repost it up on the social medias if I can find it. I promise I'll look for it at some point in time. I don't know if y'all heard or not, but I'm moving. So my time is a little preoccupied with cleaning shit. But yeah, I will find that and get that posted for y'all so you can enjoy.
Good. So yeah, let's those audio postcards, send them. Go to prankcall.me or bigsexynomad.com. That's the easiest way to get them. You go to prankcall.me, it pulls the thing right up. If you go to the bigsexynomad.com, you got to find it. It's there. Pretty easy to find.
Yeah, easy.
bigsexynomad@gmail.com. Send us those non-audio, digital.
The digital postcards. Send us the digital
postcards.
We're looking for stories of travel. We're looking for any travel hacks you may have.
Hacks, nightmares, like shit that went wrong.
Things that were great, wonderful. If you want to boast about a wonderful trip you had somewhere and share that story, this is the podcast for it.
Someplace that you'll never go back, someplace you can't wait to go back. Maybe a little of both.
If you're on vacation and for some reason you're listening to this, first off, thank you. But if you want to, give us a call or a message in the moment. I'm currently on a beach experiencing the time of my life. Share that so we can share that vicariously with our listeners and make them all jealous and want to be you for the brief moment of time. We'd love to hear from you.
Hell yeah. How do they find you, Big Sexy?
Well, if you're looking for me, you can catch me at, you can catch me at Who is Big Sexy, at Who is Big Sexy, all one word, on all the majority of the socials, Instagram, Twitter, Snapchat, TikTok. At Who is Big Sexy. You can catch us at Big Sexy Nomad on all the things, Instagram, Twitter, whatnot. And yourself, Judge?
That would be Psychic-ish. So the stage name has changed. The handle for those internet properties has not. Instagram, Twitter, some of those new ones, but I don't really know how they work and haven't really started using them that much yet. But hey, they're there.
If there's a social media platform you would like us to be on, shout out, let us know. We work on getting there as well. If you're like, man, I really do Hive. I'm really big on Hive. Let us know. We'll create a Hive account and then you can share it with all the people you're so big with on there. We're looking to grow. We're looking to grow and build up. We thank y'all for hanging out with us and staying with us. We're also keep bouncing around with different software and platforms to record this. We're trying to make it become as nice and clean and crisp and professional as possible. And so we thank you for hanging out with those growing pains with us. We do appreciate that. So
we'll get it sorted out by episode 80.
By episode 80, I made a promise. By episode 80, it'll be crisp and clean and no caffeine. All right.
I don't think you made that promise.
Well, you're right. I did not.
The caffeine part.
I did not. We'll probably still have a bunch of caffeine because I hear that caffeine helps travel.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. I have to do those
caffeine. All right, kids. Till next time.
Take care, y'all.
Come on, click the button. There it is.
Safe travels.